Nyundo palha, oa, nyundo palha, nyundo, nyinakali wanganyi, oa, ngalo wanganyi, ngalo palha.
I often feel like I'm dancing between two worlds and struggling to find where I fit in. It's not until I can really blend my two different worlds together that I feel like I can accomplish what I want as a dancer to really tell my own story.
For the first time in its 50-year history, the Australian Ballet is welcoming aboard an Indigenous dancer.
I remember when she was little thinking, if she could just get in the Australian Ballet School, that'd be amazing. And then for her to get into the company was just incredible. I couldn't believe it, but just so pleased for her because she's the one that's worked so hard. You know, so yeah, it was amazing.
Level 5, reception to the Australian Ballet. Morning. Morning.
a ballerina. I'm different. Every day I feel like when I go to class, I have to really push myself to really prove that I deserve a spot where I am. And it can be tough comparing myself day in, day out to these other amazing dancers around me and wondering, what do they think of me? You know, do they think I belong here? And of course, I just want to prove that I do, and I want to gain their respect, and I want to, you know, I want to feel as though I belong. This is not where I thought I'd end up, but it's a lot more than I expected, and I bet it was a lot more than my mom expected too. Being the first Indigenous dancer in the Australian Ballet definitely would not have crossed my mind at 7 years. I grew up in Dubbo, a small country town in New South Wales. And it was just Mum and I. She was a single parent and I was an only child.
I was doing physical culture and I started Ella doing physio too. And she became really, really good at it. And then she got to the nationals at the Opera House. And she started getting a little bit bored.
She brought home a VHS of Swan Lake, and I remember sitting in my living room watching these swans fly off. I remember feeling like that's the feeling I want to feel one day.
So we found a little dance school. It was in a little church in Dubbo.
Ella was standing in the doorway and I said to Ella, oh, would you like to come in and watch? And she was like, oh, yes, you know. So she came in and I could just tell that she would love to do it.
Because we're Aboriginal, people thought, oh, why doesn't she do basketball or why doesn't she go running? I said, that's what you want for Ella. That's not what Ella wants.
She wasn't given that opportunity when she was little. And I think that's what really drove her to make sure that I had the world at my feet. My teachers at the Dubbo Ballet Studio noticed that I had the right facility, the right mentality and coordination, and encouraged my mother to keep me doing dancing as long as I was, you know, enjoying it.
As a single mum, I was a bit concerned about the cost because ballet wasn't cheap, but the ballet teachers saw the potential and just said, look, that's okay, we'll work things out. I remember the first time when she came out on stage in this tutu and I said to Mrs. Snyder, the old maitre d' of the Dubbo Ballet Studio, is that my daughter? She said, isn't she beautiful? I can't believe it. I didn't even recognise it, just the way she presented herself on stage. We went to our first Eisteddfod, little country town, and she won it. And from then on, she was hooked, and I thought, well, that's where she needs to be.
The Dubbo Ballet Studio obviously saw great potential in me and would help my mum out financially, and I would receive scholarships. And then eventually I was dancing 6 days a week at the studio, and I realised I actually love this a little bit more than the other dancers do, and I wanted to keep going.
Once it started getting really serious, I said to Ella, you know, you've picked a really hard battle. It's one of the hardest professions that you'll ever get into. Are you sure this is what you wanted to do? And she said, yes, Mum, this is what I want to do.
I remember coming home from school and my acceptance letter was sitting on the dining table and my mum had been home all day waiting for me to open this letter. And when I did, I was obviously very, very happy and excited because I knew what the next chapter of my journey was going to be.
After years of commitment, Ella's dream has come true. She's been selected to train full-time at the Australian Ballet School in Melbourne. It's exceptionally difficult to break into the National Ballet School, especially if you're a girl from the bush.
I'm going to go to Melbourne and live with her. Ella. It's going to be really weird without her. It's going to be sad.
I was leaving the only home I'd ever known, Dubbo, and all my friends. It was probably one of the hardest moments of my young years. When I first moved to Melbourne and my first year at the Australian Ballet School, it was really tough. And it was constant, it was non-stop. They would put a lot of pressure on us young teenagers to be a certain way and to live a certain life and to pursue one ultimate goal. Every movement, every expression is monitored, and it's hard to keep this facade up of you being fine and you being perfect in this grueling environment where you're not coping. Teachers putting you down constantly, telling you you're just not good enough, you're not doing this right, your leg shape is bad, you know, you're just not cutting it. It's enough to make you think, well, what's the point? I'm not cut out for this. I would come home daily crying, and my mum she was worried. I know she was. Somehow, I don't know how I did it. I made it through the 4 years. But once I graduated from the Australian Ballet School, I didn't receive a contract to join the company. Of course, I was heartbroken, and I felt lonely too because there was no one else in my shoes.
I watched her grow up through the Australian Ballet School. She was always a dancer who really captured your eye. She had a really unique and beautiful way of moving. But when she graduated from the school, she had a bigger journey ahead of her than just coming into the company.
Long before I even went to the school, I can remember being inspired by Bangarra. What they do is so unique and so original, and during this soul-searching time, I felt like journeying to Bangarra was the right thing for me at that time. I'd always been Ella Havelka, this little girl from Dubbo who was doing classical ballet. And I knew I was Indigenous, you know. My mum told me, be proud to be an Aboriginal Australian. Don't be ashamed of it and don't let it keep you back. I didn't know much about my ancestry and my cultural heritage. There was a huge hole, a big gap inside of myself that I didn't know about.
Classical Western form of traditional ballet feels a bit like an exterior experience. And I suppose in Bangarra it's much more of an internal experience, and you have to know about where the story's coming from.
Bangarra was just a great option for me to not only do dancing, which is what I loved, but to explore my heritage and to learn about my culture.
Oh, Ella was a proper white girl when she came in. She was a little bit upright. Ella's training obviously was quite intense. She'd been doing ballet all her life, not that much contemporary.
For a while I felt like I was a bit of a square peg trying to fit into a round hole, you know? Like, I just didn't know where my place was within this company. I was used to just trying to pick things up too quick and had to be perfect first time. Whereas Bangarra's approach was you watch and you silently listen to what the elders were trying to say or to what the choreographers were trying to tell you. And eventually it would sort of just manifest in yourself. It was almost like I had to forget everything I had ever learned at the ballet school and start from scratch.
We went on country to Arnhem Land when Ella first joined. That was her first trip, and I remember the poor little thing going into rural communities. And I think when you go into rural communities, just for anybody in general, if you've not been there, it's a completely different way of being.
It was one of the most life-changing experiences. And they immediately adopted me into their way of life, and I camped out for 2 weeks. It was such a great way to initiate me into the world of Bangarra before learning their fabulous repertoire. It was a shock to me, but I guess it was the only way I could really immerse myself in amongst that culture, and to understand it completely is to go where the culture is strong. We would repeat these movements over and over again until I thought my kneecaps were going to fall off and my quads were aching and burning. But by the time you got it on stage, it really felt natural, and I could understand the way these movements worked and why it was such a natural movement. And after a while of repetition and really watching, I could emulate that in my own body and find my own comfort within it. It felt really nice to be able to do this type of dancing that I know is thousands and thousands of years old, and then be able to perform that for an audience, knowing that we were passing on something that's really special to my people.
For Bangarra, it is about caretaking. In our country alone and throughout this big nation, vast land, you've got 1,000 or more different languages, which means you have 1,000 or more different Indigenous dance styles. Dance practice is such a big part of Aboriginal lifestyle. Whether it's through ceremony, whether it's part of healing, it's a really great medicine. And it's a great way to continue our cultural stories. Once you start learning that thing of watching and mimicking, you start to break down. So she was challenged in the beginning, but you know, our girls were really, you know, the girls in Bangarra, We're all like a family, and if a new sister comes on board, then we try to nurture the language of what's within the company at the time.
I'd never been working so much on my knees before. I could handle blisters and sore feet and sore calves, but this was all new. This was completely new territory. I found it difficult at first to really embody the type of movement Stephen Page has invested in the company. It's an extremely unique type of movement, and I'm actually very fortunate to be one of, the only people who will ever experience that type of movement and that type of discipline as well.
I think what the beautiful thing Bangarra did for Ella was really awaken her cultural identity.
Bangarra and the ballet were doing a collaboration called Warramuk, and I was around the ballet studio again, and I was seeing all these dancers who I had known from my past, being part of the school, and some who I'd remembered watching on stage and being inspired by. And I started getting that feeling like I miss being on point, and I miss that feeling of flying through the air, because Bangarra, let's face it, is on the ground a lot of the time, and as much as I love that movement and that feeling, I also miss the other feeling that I once felt.
She did this beautiful duet with Jake Mungakahia, one of our boys. And I remember thinking, I wonder if Ella's ever thought about putting her pointe shoes back on.
She spent 4 years with Bangarra, but she still kept her technique up. That's one thing Mr. McAllister said. Whatever you do, Ella, keep your technique up.
I remember thinking, is it even possible? Is it something dancers do? Do they go from being in a contemporary company back to a classical company? Is it possible? Will my feet cope? Will my body cope? Mentally, will I cope? But I realised that unless I made the leap back to ballet soon, it might not ever happen.
I was thrilled. I was so excited actually when she contacted me and said that she wanted to come back to the ballet.
To come back to pure classical dance, that's no mean feat. That is a pretty tough ask, and I think she came back with some real focus, and she had a lot of work to do.
And I went and saw her first performance. I cried. I thought, that's what Ella wanted. That's what she worked for all those years. And she never gave up. So why would I give up on her?
Nice to see you. So today we're going to try your nip and your garland dancer. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh my gosh. It smells good. English. All these years.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to check to make sure this isn't too tight.
Really, really good. I feel like I'm 5 again.
Yeah.
I have my little fairy outfit. Oh, I feel like a fairy. Or a nymph, whatever.
I think what's important is that every single dancer is a unique individual. They all have their own qualities. I know for me, it's important when I look at a room full of dancers, not to compare them too much, to look at each of them on their own merits. And I think Ella's no different. You know, she has qualities that nobody else has. Other people will have qualities that she doesn't have. That's just the way it works. But what's important for each dancer, I think, is to identify their strengths and really work towards those.
It's fantastic to have Ella in the company, because I thought, you know, she would not come back to ballet. So when she did come back and then, you know, she did class and, you know, she looked fantastic, I was like, wow, you know, she really has grown. I think her time with Bangarra really gave her a different dimension to her dancing, which actually now she's brought back to the ballet. It hasn't been easy for Ella to come back into ballet because the technique is so different from what Bangarra do, and it took a while for her to feel like she had her ballet legs back.
After 4 years with Bangarra, having to transition back into the ballet world was definitely a huge hurdle again. This time I was facing the hurdles of I'm very contemporary and now I've got to go back into the ballet world, so I had to then re-establish my ballet technique, and yeah, once again another fish out of water, just in a different stream. As soon as I left Bangarra, I immediately got myself a pair of pointe shoes and tried to retrain all those small muscles in my feet and ankles to be able to do what the ballerinas in the Australian Ballet Company are expected to be able to do.
One of the enormous challenges that Ella faced would have been coming from working in flat shoes to working back on full point. That is an enormous jump forward for the muscles, the intrinsic muscles of the feet to build up to. And I reckon Ella's feet would have been pretty sore during that period of time.
I forgot what that pain felt like and how to stabilise my ankles and feet while I'm balancing on that tiny little block. But I was very, very eager to get back into the classroom and into rehearsals because I was so excited to just be a ballerina again. I guess I was a little bit too excited to restart this transition into ballet that I injured my ankles quite badly. As a result, I was off for 6 months. My feet were not ready to go back up on point so quickly after doing 4 years of contemporary work.
I mean, the technique of dancing on point is really quite unnatural, as you can imagine, you know, being on your toes, and it takes a huge amount of strength in the lower legs and feet. But I think for Ella, she was a little frustrated through that, as all dancers are, because, you know, she wanted to prove herself and be able to show what she could do. And I think we had to keep sort of like going, no, 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 you know, hold back, you'll be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4.
It was quite an overwhelming time, especially media-wise. They made this huge fuss about me being the first Indigenous dancer to join the Australian Ballet Company in its 50-year history. I became quite insecure about my place within the company, and I really felt like the only reason I was in the company was to be the first Indigenous dancer and not because I really deserved my place there. I still struggle with that sometimes, actually, and as much as I try to fit in and I try to look like the other girls, and it's been a really tough journey because it's hard to be something you're not.
Change, and a 1 and a 2, and then she goes past, we go diagonal down. Yes, it was fantastic to think that finally, after 50 years, we had an Aboriginal dancer in the company. But it's all about talent. The only commodity that we're looking for is talent.
Up, down, jump, up, down, jump, up, down, jump, up. You also need to be pushing with that second leg. Yes. Hold back, push, go. When something feels difficult and like you want to move really quickly, relax. It's like the opposite of your instinct. Yeah. All right?
Every day is like a new audition. Occasionally there's an opportunity that you really want, so you really put your best foot forward. Because the Australian Ballet is so renowned, there's a lot of pressure, not only on their staff, but the staff then put it on to the dancers to uphold their image.
Just like your forearm and hands just scoop underneath a little bit. That's your whole arm. Yeah.
You've got to look like everyone else, and you've got to fit into this mould, this ideal that the artistic staff is trying to create.
Don't guard, just be down. This can go up, open. That's it. Turn to, on the plie, bring the left hip forward a little bit more so you've got somewhere to go. 1, 2, 3.
I can work as hard as I want. I can put in as much extra rehearsal and really push myself to my limits. But if they've already got this set view of, no, she's not the right type of dancer for this, then I've got no hope.
No, open that arm and keep your body to the corner. Touch the ceiling. Reach, too slow. Bang. And up.
I want to prove, not just for myself, but definitely to the people I work with, because we have to work together as a team. Part of the Corps de Ballet, which means we all have to look the same and we have to dance as one, we have to be on the same count, our heads have to be in the same directions, and we do essentially have to look very similar. And I'm definitely more of an athletic build, And it can be tough comparing myself day in, day out to these other amazing dancers around me and wondering, what do they think of me? You know, do they think I belong here? There are a lot of things that you personally can't change about yourself, and so you can take that quite hard.
With all dancers, you look in the mirror every day, you see all the bits you don't like. You look at other dancers and you think, oh, they've got beautiful legs, or they're tall, or they're, you know, whatever. As a dancer, you're always questioning your ability. You're always, and I think they're always perfectionists, and that's what makes dancers so good at what they do, because they're never happy with just okay.
Through the back?
Yeah.
Okay. Now if I take it there and then I want you to look back, does that change?
Yeah, that's better.
Cool.
Okay. Any tiny niggle at any time can turn into a huge injury that could have you off for weeks. And it's just constant worrying about your tool, because your body is your tool, and if you don't maintain it in the right way, your career could be over in a flash.
There's been real moments of challenge, and I think real questioning for Ella about whether she's made the right decision. I think she always feels like she's constantly having to prove herself. For her, it's building the confidence. You've just got to believe in yourself, and I think that's been a really hard thing for her to do.
I feel a lot of the time I'm being very selfish. And pursuing what I pursue is, you know, it's isolating.
Hey Mum, how are you?
What are you up to?
Just about to go in for rehearsals.
There are definitely times where you feel very alone in this ballet world. It's like a cocoon. You sort of revolve around it. It tells you where to be, tells you what city to be in, which theatre to be performing in, and you have a very strict timetable, and I often feel as though I have to sacrifice a lot of family and friend time in order to make rehearsals, classes, performances. You're constantly surrounded by, you know, like-minded people who love dancing, which is great, but it's not your family.
Yep.
I found out that they're not doing another cast of the role I've been rehearsing. So, like, all that hard work, it means nothing. Hey, Mum.
Oh, how you going, darling? It's good to see you.
Oh, it's good to be home.
Oh, that's lovely. It's cold here. It's freezing.
You're nice and warm though. You've got the fire on.
I have got the fire going. So you're glad to be home, I'm sure.
Yeah, just good to have a couple of days off, you know. It's getting a bit tired.
Yeah. Oh, here comes Patrick Cat. He must have known you're going to come home.
Hi, Patrick.
Yeah. Hello,
He
big
has
fella.
gotten fat.
He has, hasn't he? I'm glad you're home, darling. You need to come home a little bit more, but I know it's hard. Your schedule's pretty busy.
It's crazy, and it's just getting crazier every year. I looked at the schedule for next year, and I don't even know when I'm going to get time to come home.
I'd like to see Therese. Haven't seen her for a while. We don't get to do this very often.
It's getting a bit tired.
She only has one mid-year break, so we're going to go on this good road trip and spend some quality time together and catch up with all the family.
I think that one's yours. Thank you,
For me, thank you, darling. I'll have you home more often. How do you greet somebody in Wiradjuri?
Yamandumarang.
Ballerina. You taught us this time how to. I forget what mine is, but yeah.
Whenever I go back home, we try and speak as much Wiradjuri language as we can, just to try and remember it. Marangana.
So you have learned something.
We have learned something.
There's not a lot of people left who actually speak Wiradjuri language. We only have one elder left who can fluently speak it. I remember when people used to come and teach us, I'd just be like, what? Is this how it really is? And it's good just to get a taste of what it's really like. So
Yarry.
occasionally my aunt would teach me a word here and there, you know, like willy, possum, Yaradumarang, how are you? And we'd learn very slowly to name things or just say hello. But I wanted to learn how to say a whole range of things. I wanted to say all the family names and just stuff like that, just so I can have something of my culture with me and something that I can pass down. But you should try learning some. It's really fun.
I might think about it. Probably next year.
My mum, because she didn't get the opportunity when she was a kid, it's kind of almost too hard. It hurts too much knowing that she didn't have it. Yeah, that's always been a tough topic with us.
Very nice.
Mum and I decided we'd take a trip to the gravesite where my grandmother and my uncle were buried. I hadn't actually seen their grave before.
Do you reckon I would have liked her?
Oh, yeah. She was a bit witty like Auntie Jane.
Like Auntie Jane?
Yeah. She had a bit of a sense of humour.
I could see clearly a connection that I hadn't felt before. It was my mum's side firmly connected through this heritage, this identity that I had always sort of missed and I didn't really feel like was real.
The sweetest of the four of them.
It just clicked and it felt like it was that final release, I guess, of knowing, so this is where it all started, you know, from my mum's mum here in Narromine. Like I felt like the circle was complete, you know, coming back here.
Okay then. See you later, Mum. See you, John. We're going to go now. We'll come back and see you again later on. The chain's been broken. Uncle John's gone now. It's not nice to say goodbye. Is it really? I know.
You know, a couple of times I did have questions about my father. Just before I was about to leave to go full-time with the Australian Ballet School, I was 15, I found out that he'd passed away, and I'd never, to my knowledge, laid eyes on him, and knowing that he lived in the same town as me, it couldn't have been easy for my mum.
The relationship with Ella's dad, that had broken down quite severely, and I did give him the opportunity to be in Ella's life, but he chose not to. Then I thought, well, you know, like, it's your loss. But it was hard as a parent. As a single parent, I was her father, I was her mother, and she's an only child. So I was also one of her siblings. I used to always struggle financially, but I used to find the money. She was a young girl that never asked for toys or wanted this or wanted that, because I think deep down she knew that Mum couldn't afford this.
After my father had passed away and we had gone through all his things, she said that she had found this beautiful scrapbook that my father had made on me with images he'd cut out from local newspapers, and it just made me realise that he was still there watching me, like he still cared. I still sometimes feel like he's still watching, you know, it's not like he ever actually left.
Hey guys, how are you? I'm good. It's good to see you. I know. It's good to see you. Mum will be glad to see you later. You too. Come in and say hi. How long have you been here for? Oh, I'm only here for a couple of days. I've only got a few days break, unfortunately.
As soon as I saw traditional Aboriginal basket weaving, I knew I had a connection with it. It was just something I was born to do, just like dance.
Those colours are amazing.
Yeah.
I like that bracelet you have on. And the
This
silver.
one
Where do you get this colour from? That's pretty.
I was just blown away by the different things people could do with a little bit of grass, you know? And I thought the patterns were beautiful, the colours, the shapes. Yeah, it was just something I wanted to do, and it relaxes me and it calms me, and I like to do it before I go on stage if I'm nervous. And it also led me to realise that there were people in Wagga who still spoke Wiradjuri language.
Dagandu. Dagandu. Norumba. That's right. And when Bangarra came.
I was introduced to a couple of elders and aunties and uncles, so I can continue learning to speak the language of my ancestors and to learn about their culture.
Milbu, wooden boom, nan boom, murum boom, nan boom, murum boom, nan boom, murum boom, balangana, boom, boom, milbu, wooden boom, nan boom. Let's do that one again. Well done. Oh, God.
All right, guys, come on in. Take a spot at the bar. Reach out.
So 4 forward, really bending underneath that arm.
She's really generous with her time to come and just talk to my students and teach them a class and just share her knowledge and encourage them, and probably more than anything show them the possibility of what you can do. And she was a girl from Dubbo, and look at what she's done.
Swing around the corner. Something pulls you forward to this way. Winding, twisting back in the other direction. A lot of the kids that I was teaching today were the age I was when I was seriously considering becoming a dancer and pursuing that as a career. And I wish that I could just let them know that they have so much time and they don't have to rush. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so well done. I'll That's okay. Thank you. You're most welcome. It's always hard to sign pointy shoes because they're not flat. There you go.
Thank you.
No worries. You did beautifully in ballet today.
Thank you. Just turn the volume up.
Oh my God.
So this was in the old studio in Dubbo.
I definitely would not be where I am today without Teresa. She's the one that always brings me back to reality.
They almost just look the same, really, to me, and it seems like yesterday, really. And they're just still like two gorgeous little girls, you know. But they're young ladies now, of course. And it's lovely they've remained such close friends. Okay, beautiful arms. And Teresa, let's go.
It was quite special to us, I think, and it really helped us bond when we were quite young, and we've just been best friends ever since this duet. And it was just funny watching both Teresa and I. We're still exactly the same, just older and more grown up now. And it was great seeing Suzanne.
Toe backs, that's it.
She's still that passionate about what she does that it just reminds me all over again why it's important to come back with the knowledge that I've got and keep reinvesting it into the people who invested in me. I got my wish, I got snow. Oh. Take a day off work.
Yes.
And plus you have to spend more time with me.
Yeah, that would be good. And have you been told what cast you're going to be in?
Not yet, but we have a vague idea. There's constantly people I'm butting up against who just see different artistic views, and there's this one piece, the rehearsal director just wasn't sure if she was going to use me in it, so I mean, it hurt a little bit, but it happens, I guess. But then, you know, I just think, okay, what would Teresa say in this situation? And
yeah, you can call me anytime.
Yeah, I probably will call you a few more times,
yeah,
but you know,
that's all good.
you don't have a lot of time to dwell on the past in this company because we are constantly moving from repertoire to repertoire. At the moment, we're in rehearsals for Swan Lake. There's no greater joy in being a ballerina than being a swan. And I feel very privileged to be able to be a member of the Australian Ballet Company and do this particular version. It's the best feeling, just knowing that, you know, you're taking this iconic Australian production to places that might not have ever seen it before.
It's wonderful that she's going to be a part of the production when we take it to China. And I think for us, taking this sort of quintessentially Australian production is really exciting.
Getting to be a part of the international tour for the Australian Ballet is a huge deal. It's when you really feel like you're a member of the company, you know, you're not in your first year anymore and you're not a newbie.
I'm sure for Ella, it'll be one of those experiences, having seen that video as a little girl, and then being a part of the Australian Ballet doing Swan Lake in China, you know, they're the moments that you think, yeah, you know, I'm sort of there where I thought I'd be.
Hey kids. Hey Ella. I just need some point shoes. Yeah, sure. Let's try the 8s. So the 8's going to be a little bit softer around the sides.
Oh, yeah, I see. I feel the difference.
Yeah.
Around there. I mean, it still holds me up pretty well.
It holds you up. It's a tiny bit of buckling just there.
Yeah.
So we'll just take 4 pairs to China. So I'll only pack the 4 plus a pair of flats for you.
Yep.
And also a pair of ties.
I don't think we have any section this big, to be honest. Not with all these, like, there's like tons of
It looks just like a house. Yeah.
I have to say I'm extremely grateful that I have the job that I have that enables me to travel. We get to go to such distant places so far away from Australia, and I definitely never would have thought as a child being a dancer that that's what dance companies do.
There's something about international touring that consolidates the company. Bonds are built on overseas tours that, you know, continue on. I think it's a great internal motivator for that sense of who we are and what we do.
Coming from, you know, a family where I didn't have a lot of money to spare, I didn't really think that the Great Wall of China was something I'd ever really get to see for myself. So seeing the Great Wall was definitely one of those, wow, I made it sort of experiences.
You're my friends, right? You would actually hang out with me? You need to do more tours like that. I know. So yeah, I'm gonna say. Just gotta do like a cool Ella.
I know.
You're actually really good.
And they can't make it that far upstage. So let's go on for Amber with the pool. Amber, how's that, Amber, okay?
Overseas tours are always really tense, always really hyper. It's a huge stage. And because we're performing in front of audiences who have probably not seen the company before, you have to be really on your mettle, you have to really deliver.
Because we're all in the same situation, you do form close bonds with your peers because you're all going through this challenging environment together. and you all know the ups and downs and the politics, and you all understand how there's always someone who's left out or slighted. We feel it for each other when we're going through those downs. But then it's great too, because a lot of the time when there's the highs and the ups, they're celebrated. Although there is this underlying sense of competition between us, we try not to show that so much on the surface, because we have to work so closely together, especially as part of the corps de ballet. So we all have to be really closely connected as a knit group. And if there are little tiffs amongst us, we're very professional about it. You know, we'll go back out onto stage and make sure that the audience gets the best possible production.
Yes, that's better. I think Swan Lake is one of those ballets that has inspired so many dancers to become a dancer, and especially the women, because, you know, there's something about being one of those flock of swans that it's very spiritual. I mean, it is one of those things that the women say, even though it's really hard and they get sore feet and, you know, they're on in all 4 acts and they're really tired, they love it.
Your main focus will be on the music. If you don't know what tempo you're going to do that step to, then you're out with the whole group. I've got to be aware of the girl in front of me, make sure I'm directly behind her. I've got to be aware of the other side of the stage, out the corner of my eye, to make sure that that girl is directly in line with me as well. In all the running sections, I've got to make sure that not only am I not running into my fellow dancers, that I'm not going to be in the way of the principals, because they could be running through at a different time, and each principal couple will do it slightly differently. So you've got to be completely all senses around you all the time. Once you've sort of mastered this sensual experience, you can then evolve yourself on top of that to create the performance that you want to create. You can become the swan.
Just one extra thing that I have to do every night is cover up my tattoo behind my ear. In Wiradjuri culture, a feather symbolises the link between mother and daughter. And of course I think about my mum a lot when I see it and how far she's helped me come.
Well, opening night's always exciting. It's always that build up to the premiere, the curtain up, which, you know, the tension really builds and everyone's really focused on getting what they need to do right and making it all happen.
If you do get nervous, you sort of have to really breathe through it and just think about the important things that you're about to do. You sort of think through your mind, okay, I've got to get that step, I've got to be in this line, I've got to make it all the way across stage to red, I've got to leave this much gap between me and the next girl, and you go through them in sequence in your mind before you go on, just to steady and calm yourself and remind yourself that you do know what you're doing.
And then once the curtain lifts, the magic begins.
It's just pure bliss. All the dramas and the troubles that you've been going through backstage and in the rehearsal studios, they sort of go away in that moment. You can just let your body take over. Is really like a dream come true, performing that role that I saw those years ago. It actually feels better than I imagined. All of these faces are looking at this tiny little box, this stage that you're on, and you're creating this world for them. So you really want to tell the story just the best that you can. In that moment, nothing else really matters besides what you're there to do.
Of course, I would love to move through the ranks of the Australian Ballet, and I would love to get more featured opportunities and roles, and just there's heaps of different characters that I want to embody, and I want to feel what it feels like to be a particular type of character or a different style of dance.
We keep it across the other hand and we go punish up.
But I just don't know if those opportunities are going to come, so I feel like it's important for me to be realistic as well, and see what I can make for myself, what opportunities I can make for me.
And 3, and 2, 4, extend. I think dancers are always trying to find that one place where they feel that they belong and that's their niche. And sometimes you might end up somewhere that you think is right and it's maybe not after a few years. But the important thing for dancers is not to give up on that process. And certainly in Ella's case, I mean, she's made an impact in her time at the Australian Ballet. Will she remain here? I don't know. It depends on Ella. It depends on whether this is the right place for her, you know, and these are questions that she has to ask herself and answer herself honestly.
I always feel like Ella's a bit on loan. And I think while she's with us, it's a fantastic joy. But, you know, if she said to me tomorrow, I'm going to do this, I would not be surprised. She's got a big, you know, road ahead.
When I was creating this, I sort of had this image in my mind of the perfect fusion of Bangarra meets ballet. I had in my mind this idea of carving out and through a cave, and you can see very clearly the lines and the shapes, and nothing's...
You can see your mark.
Yeah.
That leg comes, oh yeah, in a second comes around. Yeah. You've set a hard task for yourself, because when we put point shoes on, we kind of go... It has that natural kind of foot binding kind of quality, and you actually want the opposite of what the point shoes do, which is really interesting. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. This is fun because it's breaking down those classical barriers. Yeah. And there's no more rules. So don't be bound by them. Yeah, you've got your point shoes on, that's enough, but they don't have to rule you. Just use them. Just use your technique, use your breath, use every part of your body, but don't let the rules of ballet or the rules of contemporary dance, you know, stop you. So just keep true to your own idea and your own ideals, I think, and just go for it. Yeah, it's beautiful. Cool.
I still feel like Bangarra is my family. Whenever there's an opportunity, I like to pop in and grab a coffee with a couple of my Bangarra buddies.
Ballet now.
Yeah, you wouldn't recognise
And Sydney
anyone.
dance, like there's only.
I really missed that environment, that relaxed atmosphere where you could just move how your body naturally wants to move and it wasn't so rigid and you weren't trying to be perfect and you were just moving, and I miss that. But, you know, this is what I wanted.
What's this?
Oh, what a surprise. I just wanted you to see it while you were here because, yeah, I think it'll remind you a little bit of a Waratah Flower.
Oh, that's beautiful, darling.
I've just been touring around with it and doing a little bit each night before the show. And when I finish it, it's going to have a rim. I'll probably only get like that much done each show.
She's worked hard, that little girl. I don't think Ella's ever wanted to be up at the top, but she always just wanted to be the best at something. She's a humble girl, and that's one thing I try to instill in her. Don't be in a hurry. Take your time.
I do feel like I've changed in many ways. Before I was fighting a battle, I was trying to prove myself. I feel like I don't need to do that as much anymore. I feel as though my path will unfold before me a little bit more. Because I can't change people's opinions of me. And I think I've accepted that a little bit more. And so if I get to where I want to be on my own merits, then that's a good thing. But if I don't get there because someone else's opinion, not much I can do about it. To me, dance is purpose. It transcends being human. It's bigger than me. It allows you to feel any emotion, express anything that you want to express. It stirs up such great emotions in me, and it can make me so sad, but it makes me who I am.